I was watching Home Alone this morning.
Oh my goodness.
And I got to wondering, what if Walt Disney Pictures had made Home Alone? What kind of, like,
oh yeah,
you know, like how
yeah.
much of how different would that movie be if it had come from Walt Disney Pictures?
Originally made by 20th Century Fox, but if Walt Disney had taken the reins on that, what would it have been?
Yeah.
I got an answer for you.
You do?
That movie is called Blank Check, and it came out in 1994.
Already exists.
Yeah.
Wow.
Disney made it. We can see a lot of similar themes between both Home Alone and Blank Check. You've got your main protagonist, Preston Waters. He's this kid who feels downtrodden in the same way that Kevin does. He has a room to himself, but his brothers are starting a new business, and they got to move all of their crap for the business into his room, and his dad's totally okay with it. It very much feels like a situation where he just can't get ahead. His
dad is James Rebhorn, by the way.
Yep.
Perfect casting for this. And he's so over Preston. He's like, hey, if you want room in the house, you got to make money. He's just like a total capitalist. He's you're 8 years old, get a job.
And then he pushes him a little too hard, and Preston actually does get a job.
Kind of.
Not in the sense that he had intended, though.
A classic hustler style.
Yeah. So our protagonist, Preston Waters, played by Brian Bonsall. This is Alexander Rozhenko from Star Trek TNG, if you don't know. Worf's son.
This is a lot like when Kiss did without the makeup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is Alexander Rozhenko without the makeup.
Without the Klingon forehead. This is just him. We did see him before in Family Ties. I think that's kind of where he got his start.
Well, you saw him in Family Ties.
I saw him in Family Ties. But yeah, now he's in Blank Check. Pretty sympathetic protagonist. You feel really bad for him. He goes to a birthday party with, it's not even really one of his friends. He goes to his bully's birthday party, essentially, at Funland.
Yeah.
His dad gives him like $7, and it's like, oh yeah, you'll have fun all day on that. And everybody else is spending like $50 or $100 to have a fun day there.
Right. And everyone's there. 20 kids are there. And he's just standing watching. It's a great setup for kids, because I think kids, a kid in the 90s, they get it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they get it to that extent, but it's like kids know what it's like to not have any money, to not have any real agency, to not have any like power of choice that comes with having currency, with having capital.
Yeah.
And he's right at that age too, where he's like, I'm not like a little kid. I want to go do stuff.
Yeah.
So it pretty succinctly sets up his downtroddenness.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Everything that sets us into place is it's his birthday coming up soon, and his grandmother has sent him a check.
It's blank check.
And basically his parents fill it in. They're like, all right, she probably meant to say $10.
Right.
But he's going to go into the bank the next day and try to open a savings account. But there's a minimum. You'll have to have like $100, $200 to open a savings account.
He's also a computer whiz.
That's
sort of important, because he built his own little calculator that's like, it'll take you 386,000 years, for a 3.5% APR on your $11 to make $1 million or whatever.
Yep. So there's pretty much no hope for him. But something that happens that changes his fortunes is that a criminal has just escaped from prison. This is Miguel Ferrer.
Beautiful that he's in this movie. This casting is just couldn't be better.
Yeah, I know him best from RoboCop and Twin Peaks.
Sure.
He plays a great villain. He's a great villain over the course of this film.
He plays it so straight.
You get the sense that he really is willing to murder a kid. He's just such an in this movie.
Hey, mister, you know where the refreshment stands are?
No.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a total jerk. He almost runs over a kid, and this is where things like get really going. He runs over Preston's bike, and then he writes Preston another blank check.
Give this to your dad. He'll know what to do with it. I need to go.
And this time, Preston isn't going to cash that check for $10. He's not going to show it to his parents.
Well, he learned what a blank check is from his dad, right?
Yep.
So,
and this time he's going to fill it out. How much can I get for this blank check? $1 million. Wouldn't you know it? Miguel Ferrer was going into the bank that day to launder $1 million.
We got Tone Loc in this movie, too. Now, Tone Loc is a personal favorite of ours, obviously.
Yes. Kind of feels like the Marv Merchants of Blank Check a little. He's sort of like the comedic side sidekick, the goofball sort of guy.
Yeah.
He does have a few.
He's a little more menacing.
Yeah, he does have a few good one-liners too.
How could you spend $1 million in 6 days?
You must not have been shopping lately.
So Preston gets $1 million in this movie, and he's a kid, and he can basically just do anything he wants with it. He ends up buying a house. It's a castle, and this is an amazing building. He gets it for $300,000, which is like quite a steal for as much space as he gets. But basically, he buys his own freedom in this movie, and that's something that I really connected with me when I was a kid. Is like, I couldn't wait to have $1 million because you could go out and buy your own house and then put whatever you wanted in that house. You didn't have to do all the boring stuff that your parents did, have fancy curtains and boring furniture. You could buy like video game systems that take up an entire wall.
Water slides that go out of the master bedroom down into the pool.
Oh my God. A racetrack right on your own front lawn, like a bouncy house. Preston lives the dream that I think every kid wishes they could. When Christmas comes around, it's like all the things you want. Like, you really got to set your expectations. What can Santa really bring you every year? But Preston gets $1 million and he can buy anything that any kid could ever want.
This is well beyond the I want everything in the Sears catalog. I mean, we're talking, this is stuff not in the Sears catalog.
Yes.
But also, as we see, it proves to be hollow.
Yeah. He thinks that it's gonna pay off. He feels like at the beginning of the film, like he's an unpopular kid, the one who's always picked last in sports or whatever. Like just the kid that nobody really wants to hang around. And you get the sense that if he just had money, then he could make his life better for himself. But he finds out that all it really does is attract a bunch of like hanger-oners, people who are chasing people who are wealthy. And he at the end of the film, he kind of comes around. He's like, I sort of miss my family. I don't have any friends. Like, I can't really do anything with all of this wealth. You can play with these toys until you're blue in the face, but if you've got no one to play with, then what's the point? You just sealing yourself off in a mansion.
He learns some hard lessons quick. He grows up fast. There's another thing is that he his moniker, right, his pseudonym is Mr. Macintosh.
Yes.
Right. And he creates this alter ego that is meant to be his employer, this sort of mysterious figure, this rich guy, origins unknown. And he gets this idea because he is whiz kid again, computer guy. He's on a Macintosh computer, and in '94, I found this curious. I didn't even have Windows yet, but I did have DOS, so I was still in like the IBM, ecosystem.
Yeah.
Macintosh was unfamiliar to me, and I wonder how many kids related to that. Did you know Macintosh computers back then?
I had never heard of Macintosh computers until Blank Check. And I think this is something that plays into the film in general, is that there is a ton of product placement all over this film. And that product placement left an impression, I think, on the kids who saw that movie. Like, if you had $1 million, Macintosh computer is the thing that you buy. If you want to get $1 million, Macintosh computer can help you do that.
No mistake. No accident there.
No.
My name is Macintosh.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Macintosh. You have a house.
So this film was directed by English filmmaker Rupert Wainwright. Are you familiar with this film director?
I am, and I think Blank Check was maybe his first film. If not, it was one of his first. He actually came
his
from
first feature.
The music video industry.
Space, yeah.
Yeah, largely doing music videos for MC Hammer and NWA.
Yeah.
And then Blank Check was the first film that they put in there. You can kind of see the influence, though.
You really can.
One of the
criticisms,
one of the harshest criticisms I think I read about this film from critics is that it feels like a music video from MTV in that era. And there really are like 3 or 4 different montages just showing Preston enjoying all of the crap that he bought with his money.
Right. He's really leveraging that, like, building a persona, right? Like the image of someone who's rich.
Yes.
Yeah. He uses it to his advantage. He hasn't made a ton of movies. He also made Stigmata.
I think I've seen that once, maybe.
He made Stigmata, and he made the remake of The Fog. I think that's
starring Tom Welling. Good music video career.
That's basically it.
He did start working with Michael Jackson after Blank Check. Michael Jackson was a fan of Blank Check. And I think
somehow that doesn't surprise me.
No, I think he took some interior decorating tips from Preston in Blank Check, actually, for his own house.
Oh, kids are gonna love that.
Yeah. So I think that brings us about the ultimate moral of the story. Feels like when you get to the end of this film, all of these things that Preston thought would make him happy when he, had $1 million and blew it in 6 days. He thought that this would fix all of the problems he had in his life, this loneliness, just this sort of like he's just not fully complete. And it doesn't quite do it. He ends up missing his family at the end of the film. He also starts...
that feels familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah. It sort of connects with another film that we know very well. And then the film also ends with a series of traps. Burglars are trying to take Preston's money. I guess technically it's not his money. They're trying to take their money back.
But nevertheless, he's being chased. And he's outsmarting them with the traps in his house.
Yep.
And
you got the batting cage, hit Tone Loc with a bunch of baseball bats. Yep. Miguel Ferrer ends up getting rolled down a racetrack in a little metal ball and then almost drowned. I thought he was dead. That's
serious CTE right there.
Yeah, pretty bad.
He bounces back from that pretty quick.
He does.
And Preston does ultimately a lot of really quick growing up. He learns a lot of really valuable lessons about what it means to be out striking out on his own.
Mm-hmm.
So it really does feel like it is a spiritual successor in many ways to Home Alone.
What I want is my own house, my rules, my money.
But yeah, overall, I think the movie feels like it's sort of trying to pitch this anti-capitalist message. It's a cautionary tale. Don't do what Preston did. But I don't know, when I was a kid, I don't remember taking that message away from it. I remember thinking, I want $1 million so that I can buy a castle and have a water slide, go down from my master bedroom.
And get to do all this cool stuff and buy hundreds of gallons of ice cream and also kiss a sexy FBI agent, which is really problematic.
Yeah, I don't think I would do that one today. It's
no, I don't know I would tell that story, but I think Disney knew what they were doing. They're 12-year-old kid gonna see this, gonna be that's what I could do with some money.
I think so. Maybe don't do that again. When you do the remake of Blank Check, don't do the adult kissing Preston Waters at the end of the movie. Maybe a peck on the cheek or something.
Maybe something like that.
You can still build his confidence without kissing him on the mouth.
Absolutely. Never put it past Disney to really stoop low when they're selling stuff to kids. And that's my takeaway. That's what I learned from this movie. But ultimately, great movie. I'm gonna walk away from this giving it a solid 4 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 14 out of 18. 14 out of 18.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think we could probably simplify that fraction, but we don't have to.
Yeah.
We can do that later.